This is Mike from Door and Lock Tips, and I've got a great lock to show you today. This is a refrigerator lock, a badge reading smart refrigerator lock. It will use any badge. I'll listen to that. And it doesn't matter what the facility has, this lock will read that badge. The beauty of it, it runs on an app and cloud-based software. So there's a lot to get into, so let's dig right into it. So I do a lot of work for hospitals, and they have requests from time to time that are so hard to fill. In particular, this lock. So a couple of years ago, the hospital approached me and they said, you know, being a locksmith, we want to lock up our meds in the refrigerators, but, you know, we have researched it, you know, the refrigerators that come with their own locks, and they're thousands of dollars, okay, thousands. They said, we've tried a lock and we got buckets of them. I mean, they had 5 bucket loads of a company, Compex has a refrigerator lock, and it does all kinds of stuff, but they had buckets full of them because they just fell right off the side of the refrigerator. So they'd stay for a couple of months and then they'd just drop right off. So they said, we don't want that lock. They said, so we want a lock. Here's the protocol. They said, we want a lock that will mount on the side of a refrigerator without drilling through the refrigerator skin and wreck our UL rating on the fridges, because some of the refrigerators are $4,000. So this is the lock close-up FridgeIQ. Let's get back to the video. So you can't drill through because there's wires in there. You can hit them, wrecks the UL rating. So it has to glue on. So I'm taking notes. All right, we want to glue on. Now we want you to go walk through the hospital and make sure you see all our refrigerators. So, you know, this was a vast 2-day walkthrough, and I'm taking notes. And so now I'm thinking, oh man, so you have to have 2 means of access. It has to glue on. Can't have any fumes, by the way. Okay, it's going to glue on, but can't have any fumes. So I said, okay, I'll go research this. So I put my my finger to the mouse and I started searching around, and I found a company in Chicago. So it's called Tritech, and this is a refrigerator lock that they suggested to use in the hospital. And they make refrigerators for Coke. I meant to say refrigerator locks. That's a big plus. Not the refrigerator. So that has a lot of clout. So I said, okay, do you have a lock that has 2 means of access? They said, we have a lock that has 5 means of access. I said, 5 means? So the requirement is you have to have a mechanical. You can't put anything in a VA or in a hospital without a mechanical part to it, because, you know, electricity goes bad and it shuts off, and, you know, things happen. So by the way, you can get a battery backup for this system too, but in a hospital, you're never going to run into that because they have like 4 milliseconds of power drop, and otherwise people would die. So you got your second means of access. So let's just count the means of access for this bad boy first before I show you how it mounts. So you got a fob. So their claim to fame is fobs, right? You have a key. You have a badge. Any badge in the facility can be used. I mean, they could have 10 different flavors of badges, and it doesn't matter if it's I-class, if it's HID, what flavor of HID. It doesn't matter what frequency. It'll read it straight out of the box. You don't have to buy a certain one for I-class and a certain one for that. So these are all pluses, right? And so you've got keypad. So you got another means of access. So you got a keypad, you got a badge, you got a fob, you got a key, and guess what else? You got an app. So with this app, you can get right into the lock. So if you're assigned to get into this refrigerator and you have the privileges, you could just touch your app and you can open up this bad boy. And with the software that's cloud-based, that's not on any of your computers, so you don't have to worry about crashing the computer or having a little laptop specific for each station and all this terribleness. I mean, you can spend $2,000 on a little laptop, right? And they go missing. So it's a cloud-based software. So you just log in with the browser, and if you're an administrator or whoever they want to give rights to, there's like 5 different rights. They can access this lock. They can assign people to get into the lock, and when you open it up, you've got an audit trail. So you've got 5 means of access to this lock. So all the hospital just required 2. A badge. They wanted a badge, you know. They were figuring push-button numbers. But so they got push-button numbers. They got a badge. They got a key. They got let's see, a fob. They didn't expect that. So they have a code called Code Black. And so people stuff bombs everywhere, right? So you got to get in there and check, which is a real bummer, right? So security would carry this fob, or it would be with the nurse manager. So you've got that, right? And then they didn't want any two-way tape. They wanted it glued. So they come up with, Tritech has a special glue. It's called Plexus. So this is used by the mining industry, guys. Mining industry, water, dirt, grease, and it sets up in 15 minutes. But, you know, that's not fast enough. The hospital said, well, what if a nurse needs to get in this thing while you're setting that up, Mike? You know, we can't have you, you know, you can't block the refrigerator. And, you know, the hospitals run 24/7, so, you know, we don't think the lock's going to work. Well, Tritech has an installing base. So your little glued-on mounting bracket is set in the base, and this is all magnetic. So this mock-up is just a plastic mock-up. You know how you locksmiths. We have to have a mock-up to show everybody. We've got every lock and flavor on the planet. We carry a little mock-up in there. So this is a mock-up to just show you. And so here's their mounting plate for the lock right there. And then this is magnetic, so it sticks to the refrigerator. And this is for the latch. This sticks to the door. It just sticks right onto the door. And let me just show you how this works. So they have tabs that slide open. So while the glue's setting up, because it won't slide anywhere with the magnets holding it, and the magnets holding this mounting bracket on the front and the mounting bracket on the refrigerator, it's held by magnets, and boy, those are strong magnets. And you have just tabs that line it all together, and then if the nurse says, I got to get in, get out of my way, it just comes apart like that. And they're in, no problem. And so 15 minutes later, you take this whole mounting bracket off and everything's glued tight, all glued on. And these come in different colors. So you can have a white lock with a white base, mounting bracket there. And then, oh, what if the hospital says this? Because they did. They said, well, what if somebody takes those little nuts off of the lock? Well, these are called snap nuts. These are safety nuts. So when you mount this lock, if you don't want anybody to carry a wrench in there, you know, and no service ever again, really, because you're going to have a real problem getting these nuts off. When you tighten these nuts on, that little square head snaps off. So they're snap nuts. I'm sure you've heard of them. So you snap them off, and now you have a dome head. Nobody can get in. Okay, I mean, they really got to work it. You know, maintenance could get in, but they're going to be out there whittling for a while. So there you have it. You got an easy way to mount it. Now, you think, okay, it's some high-end glue, right? And it makes fumes. Well, yes, it does. But when you're fast enough, right, you just put the glue on the back of this plate right here, and you put it on there, and when you attach this, no fumes. So it doesn't have to air, because it's the highest end epoxy type glue you would ever use by the mining industry. And it'll set completely covered in 15 minutes, or underwater if you want, in 15 minutes, and it's hard as a rock. No fumes, because you can't have fumes in hospital. And if you wanted to, it runs on 12-volt If you wanted to, though, you can have a battery backup on this, but really you'll never need that at all. And so you just run the wires. They're proud of these little plastic chases. You can use any kind of chase you want for their wires, but you got to come off of this top bracket right here that mounts to the top of the fridge, or it can mount to the side for the reader. It doesn't matter where you'd like it to have it. This was just convenient on the model. And the wires, they just run through a little plastic chase, and then you have a plastic chase to go to the back. So, you know, you're covering up your messy wires, because you have to have the wires, guys. You know, no battery would run this thing. So, for long, right? For long. You have battery backup, but that's just temporary. So, what else about this lock? Comes in different colors. You've got the keypad on the front. You've got the snap nuts. You've got the mounting bracket. And it's all badge red, so it doesn't matter what badge you have in the facility. I mean, this one right here is from the Marriott. I found it in the parking lot. There you go. It gets right in. And here's one from, I think it's Opus? Optique. Yeah, Optique. All right. Look at that. And this badge, you can see how it all works, right? Oh, the little chip in there with the antenna. Now, you can set the different times for this to stay open. So you can have it open for an extended length of time. See, it's open, Now watch. Now it's locked. So there you have it. It doesn't have to be reopened to take that latch back in. It self-latches itself. And you have a lot of these spacer plates. If your door is rounded, you say, oh, how's it going to work on a rounded door, right? No problem. You got spacers. You have all kinds of fashions of these little latch strikes. So you can have it wrap the door. You can have it like this one right here. It just goes on the face, on the side of the door, the edge. You have your little fob, which is so killer. I mean, really, how many more ways are you going to get into this thing? So there you have it. You got a killer lock. It's right around $500-600. I don't know. You're going to have to contact them. So the company's Tritech, and this is their FridgeIQ. And I've been waiting to show somebody this lock. You know, when you run across these cool, really phenomenal little ideas that you know, maybe no one's ever seen before, and you're thinking, man, how do I lock the fridge up, you know, at a hospital? Because you locksmiths, you need to know these things. So there you have it, FridgeIQ. That's all you've got to have. They have many flavors. This one has got a, this one, you know, if you need temperature inside to know the temperature of the fridge, you got this little temperature gauge you can feed into the back of the drain hole. If you can't drill a hole in it, right, through the drain hole, and you got your little temperature gauge in there. So the software would warn you. They have software that warns you if the temperature drops, so your little phone will ring off the bell. So there you have it, guys. You have a killer lock. It is I-class or whatever badge, and I enjoyed showing it to you. So please hit the like button, tell your friends, subscribe, ring the bell, because if you subscribe and you ring that bell, when I have new videos out, you'll get a notification that I just posted another video. So please come back. I hope you liked it. I enjoyed showing you this lock. Again, Mike from Door and Lock Tips. So I give this thing a high five, #1, great rating. So keep coming back. I'll show you more videos. So this is a great lock made by Tritech. It's FridgeIQ, and I think you'll love it. You can't go wrong with this badge reading lock.